I hope this finds you all well and you're all hanging in there all right during these trying times for everybody in our industry. For those that I haven't met, my name is Wayne. I look after Brand USA for Australia and New Zealand. And thanks again for taking the time to join us today and to discover a bit more about the amazing state of Wyoming. We've got Jim from Wyoming joining us very shortly. I thought I'd just kind of go over what you will expect to get out of today. Also, just a reminder, those that have downloaded the Kahoot app quiz, the PIN number is 439062. That's 439062. And the questions will be during Jim's segment towards the second half of the presentation. So when Jim comes on, you'll need to start listening and really concentrate. Also concentrate on my part as well. So we're going to go over a recap of our essential trade tools. I've got one new one, which is really going to be really helpful for you guys during this time. We're going to be looking at our Geological Wonders Insider Guide road trip itinerary, which includes the amazing state of Wyoming, and Jim will go over that in a bit more detail in his presentation. And then we've got a Q&A part towards the end. So any questions that you've got along the way, please post them in the Q&A. Sorry, by clicking on the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen. We'll do our best to answer as many of your questions as you've got. And if you could please just post them in that Q&A, that would be great, as opposed to posting them in the chat. So please use that Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And then, yep, we've got our prize time. So for those that have just joined us, I see a few more have clicked on. The PIN number for the Kahoot quiz is 439062. There will be a recorded version of this available on our Facebook Travel Trade group page, which I'll share with you during the presentation. And I'll also be sending out an email to you all with a copy of the presentation, a link to the recorded version, and also some more information for you, which we'll be talking about in today's webinar. All right, so first off, I'm just going to go over some of our essential trade tools, and obviously the new one, which is this one. It's a USA COVID-19 travel guideline. So I've had quite a few emails from agents asking about specific guidelines onto the policies and entry and border situations within different states and cities throughout the USA. So this is a real comprehensive listing of every single state, all the major hotels, all the airlines, and it links directly back to their sites. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of this. The link is there. It's on our Travel Trade website. I encourage you to go and have a look in case you do have anybody that's traveling to the USA, but it's also just a great resource because it includes not only all the cities and states, but also airlines and hotels as well. So I'm just now going to flick over and just show you what that looks like. So as I mentioned, it's on our Travel Trade site. I'm just going to scroll down here through the page and just show you. So there we've got all the states by regions with cities. And then we've also got hotels, US-based airlines, and then all the airlines there. There's quite a few, so including Australian and New Zealand airlines as well. So just to give you an example, if I was to go and say, click on Hawaii, for example, it would take me directly to the state of Hawaii's Department of Health website. And there you can find out things you should know, what you can do, and also more importantly around travel information. So that's a great resource for you. It's on our Travel Trade website, as I mentioned before. So I'll just move along to our next one, which is our travel trade website. I mentioned this in the first webinar. It's a dedicated site for the travel trade. It's your one-stop shop. It has links to a huge range of videos and images. It has destination information across all the 50 states, the District of Columbia and the 5 territories. Here you'll also find where our insider guides and our trip planner is. Also, as I mentioned in the last webinar, it has all the details of every single destination marketing organization throughout the USA. So for example, in the future, you have a client that's wishing to travel to a destination that doesn't have representation in Australia. You can click on that particular city or state. It will take you directly to the travel trade site for that particular city. There you'll have information on brochures, you'll have information on products, transportation providers. So it's a great resource for you to have, and I encourage you to save that as your favorites to make it easier for you to find. Our USA Discovery Program, if you haven't joined, I encourage you to do so. There's the link there. Our last travel trade incentive, we had One Badge Wonder. We had a huge amount of engagement. We had over 900 agents enter, and we had over 4,000 individual specialist badges completed. I think we might have a couple of winners actually joining us today. And there's also a Wyoming specialist badge. So I encourage you to go in and sign up, complete your Wyoming specialist badge. There's also the functionality on the Discovery program where you can actually download the actual creative for that badge. So if you've passed the Wyoming specialist badge and you'll say in the future you're creating an itinerary or quoting for an itinerary that includes Wyoming, you can actually put that actual Wyoming specialist badge creative in the itinerary, which will obviously show to your clients that you're a specialist in Wyoming and they're in great hands. Our Go USA TV app, so if you haven't downloaded it already, I encourage you to do so. It's free. You don't need to sign up or commit, or there's no fees, no logins. It has a huge range of content on there with short films, documentaries, episodes across all the states and cities in the USA. There's a full-length movie in there, which is one of my favorites, called America's Musical Journey, which is hosted by Aloe Black, and it's a great movie to watch if you've got some time over the weekend to watch it. I encourage you to go and download the app and have a look around. Our USA Trip Planner, now this is on the Travel Trade website as well. Here you can actually enter destinations and it will automatically create a customized itinerary for your client, and it takes all the hard work out for you. And rather than me kind of try and talk about it, I'll give you a quick demonstration because it's a tool that I really like, and it just makes things really easy for you. So we go into the travel trade site here, go to plan your trip, and then click on Trip Planner. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to plug in a few destinations. You can add in as many as you like. And in Wyoming, I'll just put in a couple of start and end dates. 2 adults, and here you can put in activity preferences. So I'd like it to include hidden gems and be slow and easy. My clients are interested in historic sites and shopping, and then it will create a bespoke customized itinerary for you. You can add in flight and hotel details, you can change the order, and it will include the must-sees and do's within the cities that you've put in and along the way as well. So it's a fantastic tool. You can actually look at it in a calendar format. It will automatically put in the projected drive times between each place along the way with those must-sees and do's. And you can share it by clicking on the screw icon up here, and you can share the plan. You can put your own branding on it. You can put your own name against it, you know, itinerary created by me, especially for you. You can print it. So there's a lot that you can actually do with it, and it's a great resource. So that's on our travel trade site, as I mentioned. So that's the USA Trip Planner. And moving along, our Facebook group. So we've, a couple of months ago, we launched this, and we've had a fantastic engagement, and thanks to everybody. There's quite a few of you who are joining us today. You know who you are, that have shared the link and to try and get as many people engaged. It's a closed private group, so it means that it's only invitation only, and you just have to answer a few questions and accept the rules for the group, and then you're in. Here you'll find, really, it's the first place that we're going to announce anything as far as competitions, incentives, updates on the USA. We'd really encourage you if you could share it with your colleagues and team members, but if we could just keep it to people who are in the industry rather than your family or your friends who aren't in the industry. We really want to keep it to only travel trade people as well. So to get on board, all you need to do is in your Facebook profile, in the search bar, just type in Brand USA Travel Trade Australia. That would be great. I'd love it if we could get some more people joining us. And yeah, it's really fun and interactive. And appreciate your support for that. And thanks to those that have joined already. So our insider guide that we're highlighting today is our Geological Wonders insider guide. It features the states of Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho. It is downloadable via the travel trade site. It's all localized, it's in kilometers. You can actually change the order around of the itinerary, and it's actually bookable. Currently it's bookable via Viva Holidays, but you could contact your preferred wholesaler and see if it's available there. I know that it has been contracted by a lot of American receptive tour operators. But if you contact your preferred wholesaler, it should be there in the future for you to book. You're also on the travel trade site. When you go to this particular insider guide, you can download a whole stack of images and video content that are linked to this particular itinerary. So there's the link there. I'll be sharing this presentation, so you'll have this information as well. And of course, it has the amazing state of Wyoming. And for those that don't know, Wyoming actually translates to the land of vast plains, which is kind of an apt description of the state's amazing, spacious, natural environment. So with that, I'd love to introduce to you Jim, who's the Global Partnership Senior Manager. He's coming to you live from Cheyenne in Wyoming, and I'll hand it over to you now, Jim. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Wayne. Hello, everybody. First thing, can folks hear me okay? I was having some issues on an earlier webcast, so just want to make sure that folks can hear okay.
You sound great, Jim.
Okay, great. So I will dive right in here. Oh, Wayne, it looks like I need permission to share my screen.
Here we go. Sorry, mate.
No problem. All right, there we go. Okay. So, like Wayne said, I'm with the Wyoming Office of Tourism, and we represent, as the Office of Tourism, we represent the entire state of Wyoming as a whole, not any one particular town, any one attraction. We do a little bit of it all. So right off the bat, let me just kind of educate folks that may not be aware of where Wyoming is, and two, just what we're all about. So first thing, we are located surrounded by South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, and Idaho. We also have Utah, Colorado, and Nebraska on the southwest and east of us. We are known as the Cowboy State. So everyone in Wyoming really kind of drives that home in their lifestyle, in their hobbies, their recreational opportunities. Really, a lot of it's surrounded by the kind of cowboy lifestyle. So rodeo is our state sport. We have small rodeos scattered all throughout the state. Some of them are nightly rodeos. Some of them are very large rodeos, which I'll get into on the next slide. But definitely our state sport, and really kind of sticks with that cowboy mentality. We have a lot of ranching throughout the state as well. They can vary from working dude ranches that are available to stay at. You can kind of get your hands dirty, work with cattle, work with horses, throw some hay bales around, have a great chuck wagon dinner, all the way up to very, very high-end resort ranches. And so that is going to be more luxury. You still might get the chuck wagon dinner, but it's going to be a little more upper scale, have some little different, just kind of a little different vibe versus the working aspect. But that's very big, scattered all throughout the state, our ranches. The Wild West kind of persona that we have is relatively true. It may not be what it once was way back in the day, but we do have rich history of outlaws such as the Sundance Kid, who got his name from a small town in northeast Wyoming, which is actually very close to Devil's Tower National Monument. That would be Sundance. And then lastly, just kind of sticking with that cowboy Western heritage, the Native American culture is very big throughout the state as well. Most prominently, you're going to find it in the Fremont County area. Wind River Reservation is the name of the Indian reservation, and that's majority in that county. It splits off into a little more counties. But you'll find that history really predominant there, as well as just scattered throughout the state with our state museums and other kind of historical venues. So with that, we have a quiz, question number 1. So I'll turn it back over to Wayne here.
Great, thanks, Jim. Okay, team, for those that have downloaded the Kahoot app on their phones, the PIN number is 439062, and we're going to start with our very first question, and that is, what is the state sport of Wyoming? Easy. And the answer is, of course, a rodeo. Well done, everyone. You got that right. 51 people got it right. Fantastic. Righty, I will. Who's at the top? And we've got Swift Sea Lion is currently first, followed by Yellow Ant, and Fast Chicken is coming at third. Very close here for the first question. Thanks, everyone. I'll hand it back to you now, Jim.
Great, good job, everybody. Way to come out strong on the first question here. All right, so next, I want to discuss a little bit about Cheyenne, Wyoming. Wait for the slide to pop up here. So Cheyenne is our state capital. It's the largest city in Cheyenne, and it's going to be one of your main gateways to the rest of the state. It's only about an hour-and-a-half drive from Denver International Airport, so you're going to have great access from connecting to Denver, and then just straight shot north up to Cheyenne. We are best known, I keep saying we because that's where I live, and that's where our office is based, but we're best known for Cheyenne Frontier Days, which is the world's largest outdoor rodeo. And that is a 10-day event that happens at the last full week of July. So it kind of starts the Friday before, but then the last full week of July is this event. And it has everything from rodeo, so you'll see the bull riding, you'll see bareback horse riding, calf roping, everything you can think of when you think of rodeo will be here. If you're not very familiar with rodeo, feel free to give it a search online, and I think you'll be impressed with what these guys and gals go through. There's also concerts during the course of the week. There's a lot of downtown events, so it's really a very, very major and unique event for Cheyenne. There will be more than 1 million people that show up to Cheyenne during this time, which is pretty major for us. When you think of all of Wyoming has less than 600,000 people, to get 1 million in one town during the course of a week is pretty big. And then it's also a great itinerary hub, because as you can see from the star down here in the southeast corner, like I said, the 1.5-hour drive from Denver International, and then once you're here, you have access to either cruise along the southern portion of the state. You can head north towards, say, Devil's Tower National Monument and kind of start an itinerary there, or you could cut through a couple options, kind of through the middle of the state, and reach the kind of big dogs, if you will, for our state, the Yellowstone National Park and Grand Teton National Park. And all through the way, you'll stop through small towns that all kind of has their own uniqueness about them. Some are known for museums, some are great outdoor recreation towns. So you'll be able to really get that Wyoming experience, kind of that cowboy experience from a starting point in Cheyenne. And so with that, we'll switch it back over, and we got question number 2.
Great. Thanks, Jim. All right, guys, get ready for question number 2. And it is, what is the name of the world's largest outdoor rodeo? And the answer is, of course, the Cheyenne Frontier Days. Ooh, a bit more tricky, that one. Let's see who's in the lead. And Yellow Ant is currently in the lead, followed by Fast Chicken and Epic Goose. All right. I will now hand it back to you, Jim.
Great, thank you. Okay, so as kind of Wyoming relates to this great itinerary through geological wonders, I want to first talk about another access point. So I talked about Cheyenne as a gateway. We have another gateway that is perfect for coming in from Salt Lake City, and that's a town called Evanston. It's right here in the southwest corner of the state. And also, like Cheyenne, from Denver, only about an 1.5-hour drive. And from here, you can still link up with this itinerary. It's just kind of a different way to get here. You'll start from Evanston, and then you'll cruise along. There's a couple of routes you can take, but all of them are going to take you through Bridger-Teton National Forest. That's one of 8 national forests that we have scattered all throughout the state. So it's going to be a beautiful drive, and you'll also be able to hit and stop in some of those smaller Wyoming towns that will have their own kind of unique charm and own kind of draw to them. And then from here, you will link up with Jackson. So Jackson, aside from Cheyenne, Jackson is probably our most well-known town in the state. And it's also going to be your south gateway to Grand Teton National Park, as well as Yellowstone National Park. To Grand Teton, it's literally minutes drive to get there. No big deal at all. To Yellowstone, a little longer of a drive, but still not bad, because you'll be cruising through Grand Teton National Park. You'll be stopping, you'll be seeing wildlife, taking pictures of the mountains, just taking pictures of the sheer beauty that's all around. So kind of hard to give a firm time of what it would take to get to Yellowstone from Jackson, just because you would be stopping. but it's about 92 kilometers to Yellowstone. Jackson is really known for kind of their outdoor proximity and their great downtown. So they're known for world-class mountain biking and downhill skiing at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort. And then the Snake River is located just west of like actual downtown. And there's a lot of outfitters you can link up with that can take you out on the river. You can do anything from, class 1 rapids, just kind of a nice leisurely float depending on where you put in, or you can get up to the class 4s and 5s if you're looking for that more kind of adrenaline rush and a little more excitement in your rafting experience. But with Jackson, the downtown is really unique. So this happens to be a winter shot, but the lights are on the elk antler arches all throughout the season. And this is right at Downtown Square. So there's going to be 4 of these arches at the square there. Super unique, great for pictures. And the square, everything from that branches out to either hotels, shopping, boardwalk shopping, restaurants, breweries. There's 4 breweries in downtown Jackson. Great dining opportunities. Jackson's a little more higher end. So if your clients are looking for that luxury side of things, Jackson would be a great spot for them. There's also economical sides, but Jackson's just kind of known for that higher end aspect to the state. So question number 3.
Yeah, okay. Question number 3, all right. And it is, what are the arches in the downtown square made of? Yes, it is made of elk antler. All right. Looks beautiful lit up at night with that picture that Jim showed us there. All right, I'll hand it back to you now, Jim. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so now from Jackson, like I said, that's going to be a minute's drive to the actual entrance of Grand Teton National Park. With Grand Teton National Park, it's something you really gotta see to believe. Pictures do it somewhat justice, but there's just so much beauty there and so much opportunity to kind of get out and recreate. There's 243 species of wildlife. So I like to say between Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks, if you're looking for some sort of wildlife, whether it's on land or in the sky, you're going to see it between the 2 parks. You're really going to see basically whatever North America has is going to be here. Jackson Lake is very, very popular. That's what this picture here is with the canoes. It's nestled right up along the Grand Teton mountain range. So you have fantastic panoramic views. You can go boating, fishing, camping right along the shore. You can swim along the shore. Water's crystal clear. So just a lot of recreational opportunities there and just fantastic beauty. You can get out and get active, or you can just take a simple stroll or just hang out on the beach and, kind of collect yourself, be with your family, be with your friends, whoever it may be. Within the park itself as well, in terms of accommodations, there's 5 lodges. So you can stay right in the park, which is pretty unique. And it doesn't get, to stay in the park, it doesn't get quite as busy during peak season as Yellowstone, but it's certainly something that you want to plan ahead for a little bit and just make sure you're getting in on time and kind of getting the bookings available prior to some other travelers or anything like that. Within Grand Teton as well, you can link up with a lot of outfitters and guides that can take you on nature walks, take you on rafting rides through the Snake River, take you on wildlife viewing. All those outfitters are going to know kind of the hidden spots, the secluded spots, the best chance to see some of the more unique species wildlife that are there. And from my perspective, a great kind of hidden gem of Grand Teton National Park is Lee Lake. It's at the base of Mount Moran, and it's between Jenny Lake and Jackson Lake. So Jenny and Jackson are going to be two of the more popular lakes that a lot of people have heard about. So a lot of them are going to go straight there. But Lee Lake, it's, like I said, it's right at the base of a mountain. It has a beach, like a sandy beach that you can kind of go in and soak. It's a little smaller than those two. So it's a good way to kind of get away from the crowds and be somewhat in your own little space. So that's kind of an insider's tip for you, if you will. And so with that, another question for you.
Great, thanks, Jim. And guys, if you've got any questions, please post them in the Q&A section there, and we'll answer them towards the end of the presentation. All right, so now we're going to go on to our next question for you all, and it is, how many species of wildlife can be found in Grand Teton National Park? All right, and the answer is, of course, is 243. And let's have a look at the leaderboard. And currently, Fast Chicken is still in the lead, and Amazing Yeti is second, and Camel is in third place. All right, I'll hand it back to you now, Jim.
Great, thanks, Wayne. Okay, so now we're getting into Yellowstone. So we've gone through Jackson, we've experienced Grand Teton National Park. Now we'll hit Yellowstone from the south gate. Yellowstone really is our most well-known attraction in the state. It's kind of on everyone's bucket list. So it's something that you want to, if you are looking to book trips, you want to do it at least 6 months in advance. Sometimes up to a year, just kind of depends on the season. So just something to think about. But with Yellowstone, it is in 3 states, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. But with Wyoming, 96% is in Wyoming. So it's something that we really kind of claim as our own. You can see that 3% and 1% in Idaho is the remainder. So really something that Wyoming claims. Throughout the park, there's 10,000 plus thermal features. So some of the popular ones being Grand Prismatic and Old Faithful. Grand Prismatic being the hot spring, Old Faithful being the geyser. But there's another one called Lone Star, which is a lesser known geyser, and it's close to Old Faithful. So if you're looking to see a geyser erupt, it's not as timely as Old Faithful. Old Faithful has its name for a reason. It goes off roughly every 90 minutes. Lone Star is a little more sporadic. So talk with the rangers or talk with some of the staff around the area to see if they know when it erupted last, and then maybe you can try to time your trip and time your day and try to see it erupt. Going back to Grand Teton and their species, 394 reside in Yellowstone. So again, if you're looking for wildlife, if you're a wildlife enthusiast, or maybe you've just never seen a bear or seen a bison, odds are you're going to see that in Yellowstone. And with the park itself, you can get, if you have some guides that will take you around, or you've done some prior research, you can kind of camp and get off the beaten path a little bit throughout the park. But it's really best known for an upper loop and a lower loop. The lower loop would be your best access coming from Jackson, and that's going to have features like the West Thumb Geyser Basin, Old Faithful and Old Faithful Inn, the Grand Prismatic, Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, which is my background here. You can kind of see a little bit of it. and Yellowstone Lake. So that's going to be a very, very popular loop. And that's going to really hit a lot of the iconic attractions of the park. And then the upper loop, you have Mammoth Springs, and then it's really, really known for the best wildlife viewing. Since the lower loop does have a little bit more of the better known features and attractions, a lot more people will be there. That's not to say you're not going to see wildlife, because you absolutely will. But the upper loop, just being a little less populated, will have some of the more unique wildlife for viewing purposes. So that's going to be kind of the two different loops that a lot of itineraries and guides will take on. And even for a self-drive, those are easy to navigate and easy to see. So we'll pause here and kick it back.
All right. We will now go on to our next Kahoot quiz question, and it's a fast one, so be ready. What percentage of Yellowstone National Park is located within Wyoming? And the answer is, of course, it's 96% of Wyoming is located within the national park there. So the leaderboard currently, we've got Fast Chicken is still in the lead, Amazing Yeti second, and Yellow Ant is third. All right. I will now hand it back to you, Jim.
Great. So now we'll get into a few kind of lesser known attractions that folks can see during their trips. It's going to still be along the same itinerary and the same routing, so you won't need to deviate. You might just want to deviate your timing of the trip and the itineraries that will be sold and pushed forward. So the National Elk Refuge is located within Grand Teton National Park, but it is right outside of downtown Jackson. It's just past the visitor center there, and easy walk to get to the center, easy walk from that downtown square with the elk antlers. And then from there, it's a short 5-minute ride to the actual refuge itself. With the refuge, a very, very cool component of it is right across the street is the Museum of Wildlife Art. And that is kind of up on this bluff. It's built into a hill, and it has some great vantage points and viewing of the elk refuge itself. It has some telescopes that you can get in and find a really great close-up view. And then there's over 5,000 works of art in there. There's a little bistro in there that has wine and food. So you can really kind of have a unique experience if you're waiting for your elk refuge time, or just kind of something else to do. The unique thing about the elk refuge is you can kind of see on this picture, depending on the size of your screen, but you see this red sleigh pulled by horses. That's how you go out and kind of experience the herd. So you'll be pulled through the herd, and you'll literally be meters from another elk. Some of them might be fighting and clinging their antlers together. Some might be bedded down. Some might just be hanging out, eating through the snow. But you can't really say you've been in that scenario unless you're a hunter. Maybe you can't really say that you've been that close to an elk in the wild. So that's a very, very unique experience. I will add that the timing of it is December to April. So that's going back to, you can do the same itinerary, but you might adjust the travel dates and trip dates. So plan accordingly, check the weather for sure. As you can see, it's an open air sleigh. They do provide some blankets, but you're still kind of out there in the elements. So check the weather, talk with your tour groups, talk with the visitor center beforehand if you're curious, and bring a hat, bring some gloves, bring a good coat, maybe bring an extra blanket, whatever you do for your own kind of personal comfort. But that's something very, very unique and a little lesser known to the Jackson and Grand Teton National Park areas. And it's something that can make for a great kind of unique itinerary experience. And so we'll pause and kick it to Wayne.
Thanks, Jim. That looks amazing, that National Elk Refuge. I never knew that that was something that you could do in Wyoming. It looks amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, we're just going to kick off into our next Kahoot quiz question. It's a bit of a tricky one, so you might need to concentrate a little bit. What museum overlooks the National Elk Refuge? And the answer is the National Museum of Wildlife Art. Is the museum that overlooks the elk refuge there. So to our leaderboard, and Yellow Ant is now at the top with Amazing Yeti at second, and Diligent Camel is in third place. All right, we've got just one more question to go after Jim's presentation here. So I'll now go back to you, Jim. Thank you.
Excellent. So home stretch here, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us, and hopefully everybody's learning a little something. So the other kind of the final unique aspect that, again, will be on the same itinerary, just going to need to adjust your timing, would be Yellowstone during the winter season. This is truly a very, very unique experience. So folks may have heard, or if you've been to Yellowstone, during peak season, it can get pretty busy. During wintertime, these pictures, it could literally be you, your spouse, your friends, your family, just you, maybe a couple bison watching Old Faithful erupt, or overviewing the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Very, very unique experience. You can still kind of do everything that you normally would during the peak seasons. Some stuff maybe not accessible, depending on the season and how heavy the snow is. But otherwise, you can still get that Yellowstone experience just with a lot less people. During the wintertime, lodging, Old Faithful Snow Lodge and Mammoth Hotel are the only two that stay open. So that's something to think about if you're considering a trip or working with an itinerary. Otherwise, Jackson would be a great hub for you so that you can still gain that access. And with access, you can't just drive into Yellowstone during wintertime. All the roads except the north entrance. And then once you get in from the entrance, it closes down. All the roads other than that part close down. So you need to access by either a snow coach or a snowmobile. And the coach, if you could see this tiny picture here with the kind of yellow van looking thing, it's basically that, a big like kind of transport van, but it has like tank tracks instead of tires. So it can cover the snow, get you to where you need to be. If you're staying at one of the lodges, it can get you where to be. If you're doing a guided tour of the park, it'll get you where you need to be to link up with your crew. And you can do the tours with some outfitters through either the snow coach or snowmobile. And it depends on what gate you're going to. But between those two, there's about 30 outfitters that can get you into the park. From the south gate itself, there's going to be eight outfitters that can get you into the park through either the snowmobile or the snow coach. And then once you're there, the tour itself would be either of those, or you could do some self-guided stuff with cross-country skiing or snowshoeing. So again, just a very, very unique experience, a lot less crowds, much more kind of intimate setting. And again, you can see pretty much everything you could during the peak season, just with, you and your loved ones, or you and your friends, whoever it may be. So pretty unique experience for winter in Yellowstone. And with that, just want to say thank you all for joining this webinar. Thanks to, thanks to Wayne and Brand USA for letting me come on here and talk about Wyoming, and happy to answer any questions after this. And if you have anything additional, feel free to reach out to Wayne, and he can reach out to me, and we can get some more questions answered. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much, Jim, for your time. It was great to learn a few kind of those hidden gems within your state. And I just love that picture of Old Faithful. I don't know how many times that I've used that in marketing campaigns in Australia and New Zealand. but you've certainly got a beautiful state. So thank you very much for your time. But don't go away, folks, because we've got our last question coming up, and we've got to announce our winner as well. So here's our last question. How can you access Yellowstone National Park in the winter? And the answer is, of course, by Snow Coach and Snowmobile. Well done. We've just about got everybody got that right. So thanks everyone for participating in the Kahoot quiz. I'll announce the winner shortly. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask us, please do ask us now. It would be great to see if you've got any questions. If you don't, that's okay. You're welcome to reach out to me. I'll have my email address, or you should have my email address already. I'm just going to run through. We don't have any questions at the moment, so I'm just going to carry on with the presentation where I won't be too far away. Sorry, bear with me. Sorry, guys. All right, so there's my email address there, team. If you've got any further questions, please do let me know. Be more than happy to help you. Okay, so prize time. Let's have a look and see who's won the $150 worth of Visa gift cards. If you, I know that Kahoot creates a fake kind of nickname for you, but if you could please email me and let me know, that would be great. And the winner is, well, third place, sorry, goes to Dr. Dolphin. And second place is Amazing Yeti. And our winner is, congratulations to Yellow Ant. If you could flick me an email, I'll get you $150 worth of Visa gift cards to you. Congratulations, Yellow Ant, and thanks to everyone who participated in the Kahoot quiz. Really appreciate it. All right, so details of our next webinar are 2 weeks from today at 10:30 Eastern Time. We'll be doing a highlight itinerary of the Northern Cali Sierra Nevada road trip. We've got Penny Brand joining us, and she represents Mammoth Lakes, Visit Napa Valley, Yosemite, Mariposa, and North and South, sorry, Lake Tahoe Visitors Authority. So bookmark that in your calendars. I'll be sending out some invites to you, and really appreciate your time today. Thanks again for all your support, and thank you to Jim again for joining us and sharing your amazing state with us here in Australia. Thanks, team. And as I mentioned, I'll be sharing with you all this information. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be in touch.